David, you ain't got nobody left. Absalom enslaved all the 7 of your sons. Let's read what else it says.
Then the king arose, and tore his garment, and lay on the earth, and all his servants stood by with their clothes rent.
Because the news of this, you have no offspring left, but one, and he's a murderer. He tore his clothes, his servants started renting earth, they got the dirt. It's morning time. Y'all, we're going to hold here, but y'all can read the rest of this, and Absalom was ended up killed by David's top man because he told him, David, you know what the deal is. Your son got to die. But David found out it was just his one son, Amnon, but his top man told him he got to die. And Absalom was on his horse, riding, they was after him. But he had a throat this big. He pulled his hair once a year, and it weighed 2 shekels, which a shekel is about 2 pounds almost. So when he pulled his hair, he had about 5 pounds of hair. Now you talking about the beauty supply. You got some Absalom hair, you made a mint. Right. You could have took care of all the women in there. 2 to 4 pounds of hair when he cut his hair off every year. Some say you can't cut your hair, but he's been doing this for a long time. We never read when Absalom had seen cut his hair off. Have we? So when they say you can't never cut your hair and all them things, no. You're going strictly by the letter of the law. You ain't reading into the consciousness of it, the spiritualness of cutting your hair. So y'all read the rest of that, you'll see that now Tamar is held in a bad position. Now all of the kingdom of Israel knows. Everybody. It's on Channel 4. It's on CNN. It's on mailonline.com. It's in the world. Amnon rapes Tamar. Amnon forces himself on Tamar. Absalom kills Amnon. News at 6. What about Tamar? What husband is going to take her now? Give me some Judges 14 right quick, y'all. We're going to move on. What you got? But this is the deal that Tamar may have had. If David wasn't the king, just saying this had happened to a common woman, she would have been forced to get it by any means necessary. Yeah. Because one man, if he come to him like, hey, ain't you Tamar? I heard some things about you. Ain't you Tamar? Well, what you heard? I heard. Well, that's true. Well, I ain't going to pledge my life to this. Sure. I'll pledge some activity after midnight. But I won't pledge my trust to you. There's no gold you get. I'm going to pay you for services now. Render. But I can't call you wife. Give me some Judges 14. And it's just one example of why a lot of times you don't see unmarried partners being punished by God. Still, the title is there that gives a woman a chance to change that title. Because once she's married, you can't call her that no more. You can't say used to be. Every time you say used to be married, but now you're married. No, she's called a wife now. Give me some Judges 14 right here. We're going to move back on this. Y'all going to be in 3 o'clock hours. Judges 14 right where Samson married his first marriage. So we're going to see it. And Samson had just received the Holy Spirit from the Lord. Judges, that's 15 or 19? We're going to start at verse 6. First, let's go 14, Judges chapter 14, verse 1 through 1 through 4. Yeah. Yeah, go down 1 through 6. Go ahead, read that for me. Judges chapter 14, and I'm showing you some things just when the Holy Spirit come over you. That being, a lot of times you don't know the Spirit that came over you. Because if you knew the Holy Spirit was over you, you wouldn't or you shouldn't sin. But Christ ain't going to allow that robot mentality to be in your mind where you can feel it. Understand what happened in the Pentecostal doctrine. They say we feel the Holy Spirit. And they jump. And they buck. And this is the sign that we have. And they speak in strange languages. We're doing purple. But everywhere we read these scriptures from Genesis to Revelation, when the Spirit came over them mightily, it was just at that moment. When you put your hand forth with the faith, then it's the faith that causes the Holy Spirit to work. Not that you can just chant some words, dance and kick. And notice they implement all the dances into that doctrine now. Monster spanking, all this, everything. Crip walking and the whole nine, and saying we receive the Holy Spirit. But you will never read that in here. That's how it comes, because you never know when it hits you. You never know when it's left you. Saul didn't know that. What did he say? The Lord done left me. And I didn't know. We're going to see when Samson, the Spirit, come on, go ahead, bro.
Good question. So when Moses killed that Egyptian for killing his Israelite brother,
Right.
And then when the 12 brothers took victory from Shechem, that Canaan were doing the same thing for 9 of their sisters, did they just let those things go?
No. Well, it was prophesied that they was going to be punished. The problem came in that Jacob made a sworn oath. And they watched their daddy swear an oath to another people. If y'all get circumcised, we'll right this wrong. We'll let it go, because by right, these boys, these angry boys, and they was holding them back like 2 pit bulls, Simeon and Levi, they wanted to get at it. He said, we're going to make a covenant with y'all, but y'all got to get circumcised. Y'all got to put y'all gods down. That's the only way we can right this wrong. And even after Simeon and Levi stood there and watched, and you read this in the Testament of Levi, that you will see that it was written that they were supposed to get with him, so that we remove any nation who thinking they can come here and do that to us. We was going to remove that, but they jumped the gun. They should have went to their daddy and told him, Daddy, not so down in Israel. You can't make a covenant with the devil. But he did. Just like Isaac, when Jacob tricked him, he said, I already been blessed him. You can't reverse it. You can't unring the bell. And what he saw, he started crying bitterly then. But that's how but just one blessing. He knew that one was gone. Through step. And the same way with these boys. So they killed this boy after Jacob had made that sworn oath. So y'all, you have to understand that when you read into it and you see like that's justifiable murder, no, they're going to never be justified. When you give your word, that's what it should be. Your vengeance should not override the word. Yeah. Listen to Judges 14. Go ahead, read that for me right quick, y'all. We're going to get right back on this because we run out of time.
Judges chapter 14, verse 1. And Samson went down to Timnath,
right,
and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines.
Right.
And he came up and told his father and his mother, and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore, get her for me to wife.
So now he's doing what's supposed to be the marriage covenant. A lot of it was arranged marriage. Dad and mom already leave pretty. I just saw the woman I want. Get her for me to wife. Make the deal. Sign the contract. Do whatever you need to do. I want her for a wife. Let's see what his mom and dad say. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of an uncircumcised Philistine? And Samson said unto his father, Get her for me, for she pleaseth me well.
So he's like, look, I don't want to hear nothing about that. I don't want to hear nothing about that. Eating what kind of meat they eat or whatever. I like. And they looking at this boy, they done watched the strength of him growing up, tearing up baby beds and breaking dog's neck with his burnt hand, and he only 15 months. They scared a little bit. Right. Go ahead. Ain't he giving them orders? Go ahead.
Verse 4. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord,
Okay.
that he sought an occasion against the Philistines, for at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel.
So right here, they didn't understand that the Most High wanted him with a Philistine woman for a reason, but the key is, it's going to be a marriage process. There ain't going to be no rape. There ain't going to be nothing outside the lines of this. This is a move to get control and get Israel back from the Philistine. Let's see what else happened.
Verse 5. Then went Samson down, and his father and his mother, to Timnah,
Right.
and came to the vineyards of Timnah.
Right.
And behold, a young lion roared against him.
Right.
And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him.
So did the Spirit, was it already in, did it come over at this point? Mightily upon him. Go ahead.
And he rent him as he would have rent a kid.
So he handled a lion like he would have did a baby goat. That's what a kid is, a baby goat. Go ahead. And when you talk about renting, grab his mouth and twist it like that. So now jawbone broke. What bite he gonna do at this point? Somebody grab your mouth and twist it north and south. Ain't no chewing you gonna do for a while. Go ahead.
And he had nothing in his hand.
And he had what?
Nothing in his hand.
Right?
But he told not his father or his mother what he had done. And he went down, and he talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well.
So right here, if y'all continue to read the story, you'll see that Samson, the woman ended up setting him up, and they end up giving this first wife, read verse 20 of that. Verse 19 and 20, go ahead.
Verse 19.
Of the same chapter, go ahead.
And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he went down to Ascalon,
Right.
and slew 30 men of them,
Right.
and took their spoil, and gave change of garments unto them which expounded the river.
Right.
And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. But Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom he had used as his friend.
Y'all see that? Daddy gave Samson's wife to his partner, the wife of that woman. The daddy of that woman, I should say, gave Samson's first wife to his best friend.
He was married her. He gave her away.
And then gave her away. But chapter 16, verse 1. This is where we're getting at. But just wanted to show you the difference in marriage. Of Samson's first marriage, he asked for it to be done the right way. Make the deal. Go ahead.
That's wild, though. You know what I'm saying? How the Lord allow him to marry a Philistine.
Right.
No, we ain't supposed to be dealing with them just for a cause that would deliver Israel from under the Philistines.
That's right. But you see what it was? It was marriage. And they said, look, according to the law, you ain't supposed to marry outside of Israel. But the Spirit is on Samson. He said, give her to wife because she pleases me well.
Right.
Now, where else have we saw this at? 1 Corinthians 7? For if the unbelieving be pleased to do what? Well with you, do what? Do not what? Do not what? Or put them away. So we see it coming to fruition there. But 16 and 1, go ahead.
Judges chapter 16, verse 1. Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot.
What did he see?
A harlot, and went in unto her.
What did he do?
He went in unto her.
So what do you think that means?
He got lazy.
Okay.
He spent some change.
Right. So y'all can read the rest of this, but that harlot was named Delilah. This is the same as Proverbs.
And bring it into a piece of bread.
Chapter 6, that word, if you dilly-dally with harlots, they will bring a man to a price of bread. If you dilly-dally at the shake joint over in Brooklyn, you will be brought to a price of bread versus getting a wife. It's $10 a beer. It's $10 a song.
You heard that?
That's what I heard. But you do this every night to get your satisfaction. Where do you think you're going to be after a while? All of them escort services, $3,000, $4,000 for one visit. You're going to be brought to a price of bread. And I just said that, and then we go to Luke 15, the prodigal son. What did he spend all his money on?
Sex.
On what?
Sex.
On harlots. Went broke. His father gave him the whole inheritance. Here you go, son. Powerball. He went over there and dilly-dallied so much, was brought to a price of bread, dead broke, and came back, but his father accepted him back. But he was in a pig trough, working, because he spent all of his money on what he could have got back. Spend that money in the house, the money stay in the house. Harlotry is one flesh. It will never be one spirit, because you don't agree. Last one on that, give me that total, chapter 7. Last one on this, y'all, just gonna get right back to this Corinthians. We got about 20 minutes and 142 seconds. And that's in Apocrypha, y'all. If y'all don't have Apocrypha, please read along, y'all. We got a couple up there. We paid $11, $12 for them. The camp bites half of that cost, and we threw it back in the kitty. So if you need one, you want to read along, just read along, grab one, but give it back unless you have a pledge to pay for it, and then drop us a change when you get it.
Brother, would you reiterate the point that you made about laying with a harlot brings you
The price of bread, we'll get at that. And when we talk about a price of bread, it means you're going to go broke. I mean, it don't mean, it never saying you will be put to death. It means when you down to a piece of bread, that's all the money that you have. That's all it's worth. You're reduced to just a piece of bread to satisfy your soul.
Is that in Proverbs?
Proverbs 6th chapter. It goes into 7th chapter when it talks about that harlot. But guess what that harlot says?
The good man.
No. So who was the good? Her husband.
Proverbs 6:26.
So she's punished for that because she has a husband, and he's punished because she has a husband. That's when we get right back to that Matthew 25 when he said you had 7 husbands, but this one ain't your husband. Did she get punished? Or was she happy? The woman that had caught in adultery, he said, go and sin no more, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He said, but I ain't going to punish you. And she went away. And she said, ooh, I escaped that. I escaped that. Tobit, y'all, chapter 7.
Also, y'all write down Sirach chapter 9 about these harlots.
That's right.
Sirach chapter 9, 1-3.
And also 1 Kings 6 chapter. Make sure y'all write that down. 1 Kings 6